ലോകജാലകത്തിലൂടെ നമ്മുടെ ജീവിത പങ്കാളിയെ കണ്ടെത്താൻ
വേൾഡ് മാട്രിമോണി.
Key takeaway. You learn about the relationship between creativity and fashion and mission and vision. You learn that the creativity relates to the power of ability to create and the passion is instant emotion, compelling action. Creativity is important of the desire, mission and vision are desired to be noble and entrepreneurial. Fashion is important both from the standpoint of adding energy to mission and vision and to key stakeholders following the mission and vision. Exercises. 1. What is creativity? 2. Why is creativity relevant to vision and vision statement? 3. What are some useful creativity tools? 4. What is fashion? 5. What is passion relevant to vision and vision statement? 6. What is the relationship between fashion and engagement? 7. D. Graff, J. and Lawrence K. A 2002 Creativity at Work Developing the Right Practices to Make It Happen, San Francisco, Jose Boss. 4.4 Stakeholders. Learning objectives. 1. Learn about stakeholders and their importance. 2. Understand stakeholder analysis. 3. Be able to map stakeholders and their level of participation. Stakeholders and stakeholder analysis. Stakeholders are individual or groups who have an interest in our organization's ability to deliver intended result and maintain the viability of each product and services. We've already stressed the importance of stakeholders to a firm's mission and vision. We've also explained that the firms are usually accountable to a broad range of stakeholders, including shareholders, who can make it either more difficult or easier to execute strategy and realize its mission and vision. This is the main reason manager must consider stakeholders' interests, needs, and preferences. Considering this factor in the development of a firm's mission and vision is a good place to start. But first, of course, you must identify critical stakeholders. Get a handle on their short and long-term interests. Calculate their potential influence on your strategy and take into consideration how the firm's strategy might affect the stakeholders, beneficially or adversely. Table 4.2 Stakeholders Categories provides one way to begin thinking about the various stakeholder groups, their interests, importance, and influence. Influence reflects a stakeholder's relative power over and within an organization's. Importance indicates the degree to which the organization cannot be considered successful if a stakeholder needs, expectation, and issues are not addressed. As you can imagine, for instance, one key stakeholder group comprises the CEO and the members of the top management team. These are key managers and they might be owner as well. This group is important for at least 3 reasons. 1. Its influence as either originator or steward of the organization mission and vision. 2. Its responsibility for formulating a strategy that realizes the mission and vision. 3. Its ultimate role in strategy implementation. Typically, stakeholder evaluation of both quantitative and qualitative performance outcomes will determine whether management is effective. Quantitative outcomes include stock price, total sales, and net profits, while qualitative outcomes include customer service and employee satisfaction. As you can imagine, different stakeholders may place more emphasis on some outcomes than other stakeholders who have other priorities. Stakeholders analyze refers to the range of techniques or tools used to identify and understand the needs and expectations of major interests inside and outside the organization environment. Managers perform stakeholders analysis to gain and better understand of the range and variety of groups and individuals who not only have a vast interest in the organizations and ultimate the formulation and implementations of a firm's strategy, but who also have some influence on firm performance. Manager thus develop mission and vision statement, not only to clarify the organization's larger purpose, but also to meet or exceed the needs of its key stakeholders. Stakeholders analyze may also enable managers to identify other parties that might derail otherwise while formulate strategies such as local, state, national, or foreign government bodies. Finally, stakeholders analysis enables organizations to better formulate, implement, and monitor their strategy, and this is why stakeholder analysis is a critical factor in the ultimate implementation of strategy. Identifying stakeholder. The first step in stakeholder analysis is identifying major stakeholder groups. As you can imagine, the group of stakeholders who will either directly or indirectly be affected by or have an effect on a firm's strategy and its execution can run the gamut from employees to customers to competitors to the government. Ultimately, we will want to take these stakeholders and plot them on a chart similarly to that shown in the following figure, adapted from Freeman R.E. 1984, Strategic Management, a Stakeholder Approach, Boston, Pittman. Let's pause a moment to consider the important content to emphasize we will be charting on our stakeholder map. Before we start, however, we need to remind ourselves that stakeholders can be individual or groups, communities, social or political organizations, and so forth. In addition, we can break groups down geographically, by level and branch of government, or according to other relevant criteria. In so doing, we're more likely to identify important groups that we might otherwise overlook. With this fact in mind, you can see that externally a map of stakeholders will include such diverse groups as governmental bodies, community-based organizations, social and political action groups, trade unions and guilds, and even journalists, national and regional governments, and international regulatory bodies will probably be key stakeholders for global firms or those whose strategy calls for greater international presence. Internally, key stakeholders include shareholders, business units, employees, and managers.